Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Most of us blacks, or Negroes as he called us, really thought we were free without being aware that in our subconscious, all those chains we thought had been struck off were still there. And there were many ways where what really motivated us was our desire to be loved by the white man. Malcolm meant to lance that sense of inferiority. He knew it would be painful. He knew that people could kill you because of it, but he dared to take that risk.
He was saying something over and above that of any other leader of that day, while the other leaders were begging for entry into the house of their oppressor. He was telling you to build your own house.
I can assure you, I don't answer to anyone.
Right. All I know is sometimes, if there's too many white people, I get nervous, you know?
Aren't you something? That's not my experience. Not at all. The Armitages are so good to us. They treat us like family.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
And so today, I'm going to step down as president. And I think I don't want to, her and I have such an amazing relationship. And I think that she gave me full power to do what I wanted to do. But I think that with her and I want to always preserve our relationship.
What the hell happened? Why did you resign from the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, it was a couple reasons. You know, first of all, let me thank Jeannie Buss for the opportunity first. When we sat down and negotiated, I told her, I said, listen, I can't give up all my businesses. I make more money doing that than becoming the president of the Lakers. So you know that I'm going to be in and out. Is that okay with you? She said, yes. I said, do I have the power to make decisions? Because that was important for me to take the job as well. She said, you have the power to make the decisions. So I said, okay, let's go do it. She said, I'm going to put you with Rob Pelinka, because I didn't know Rob. So she put us both together. And then I start hearing, you know, Magic, you're not working hard enough. Magic's not in the office. So people around the Laker office was telling me Rob was saying things. And
Rob Pelinka.
Rob Pelinka. And I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough and so on and on. So I started getting calls from my friends outside of basketball saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball. Now, not just in the Laker office anymore. Now it's in the media and so on.
And these are people you trust.
Exactly. And people got to remember something. Being in this business for over 40 years, I got allies, I got friends everywhere. the straw that broke the camel's back was I wanted to fire Luke Walton. And we had max 3 meetings. I showed her the things he did well and the things he didn't do well. And I said, listen, we got to get a better coach. I like him, he's great, former Laker, the whole thing. So the first day, well, let's think about it. Second day, okay, you can fire him. Then the next day, no, we should try to work it out. So when we went back and forth like that, and then she brought Tim Harrison to the meeting, you know, some of the guys, and Tim, you know, wanted to keep him because he was friends with Luke. And Luke's a great guy, great guy.
He is.
And so when I looked up and said, wait a minute, I only really answer to Jeanie Buss. Now I got Tim involved. And I said, it's time for me to go. I got things happening that was being said behind my back. I don't have the power that I thought I had to make the decisions. And I told them, when it's not fun for me, when I think that I don't have the decision-making power that I thought I had, then I got to step aside.
Hooty-hoo. Sorry, people. Had a few technical difficulties, and looks like I'm still having a few, but let's see if we can get it. Okay, there I go. Okay, we are back at it. It appears that the Windows 10 updates that I ran last night changed the configurations of my program back to the default settings. So I had to go back in and correct those. And then the computer still thought there was another occurrence of the program still running in the background. But that's all the technical yah-yah. Welcome to the No PC Show. People on the YouTube side, if and I'm noticing a whole lot of sluggish behavior. So I do always upload the show. At the end, I will take it and upload it back to the site. I just apologize for the technical difficulties. I should know anytime you do an update on your system, you got to go back in and check pretty much all your programs before using them, or you have what we have here tonight, a mess. But it's not going to stop us because we back at it. It's Thursday night. The name of the show tonight is called I'm Out. And it's sparked by the recent events of Magic Johnson stepping down from the Laker organization. I showed the video at the beginning of the show. Hopefully everybody saw it. If you are on the Facebook side, I posted a link over there where you can come over to the YouTube side, subscribe, click the notification button, and you will get a notification prior to the show coming. So with all that being said, sorry, I'm just scrolling down here. Let's get into it. Tonight's just going to be one of those discussions, and maybe some people will call in and discuss their views. I think as black people, we need to stop pretending. We need to stop acting like it's not what it is, when we know it is what it is. And what it is, it's a bunch of bull crap. The first clip that I showed was from the movie Get Out. And he was saying how uncomfortable he felt when there were a lot of white people. And we do an excellent job of hiding when we don't want to be in those situations with a whole bunch of white people, because we have to be fake. And that's what came out with her character. When he said that, it was like that internal hurt of, she put on the smile, and then against what she knows is true. No, now, Negro, no. These is good white people. These good white people. They treat us like family. And then it switches over to the Magic Johnson clip, and he refers to Jeannie Buss as family, which I think, Magic is trying to salvage the relationship. That's one thing white folks will try to do all the time. They'll try to salvage it because of the money that's situated throughout that organization. And he feels indebted to her father, who treated Malcolm like a son because Magic was making him money. Let's not get it confused. He wasn't just buddy with Magic because Magic was a black guy with a great personality. Magic had talent, so he wanted to grow that talent, and that talent turned into 5 championships for him. So this is what we're talking about with us and our talents, and how we decide to, I get tired of people saying, well, you got to play the game. Why would I continue to play a game that is totally non-beneficial to us? And then why would I teach my kids to play this same game that's non-beneficial to us? We got to look toward the future in black people, and we are just totally dropping the ball because everything we do is dependent on them. And then you want to have a trust factor with these people, and you're sitting here just like Magic. He explained to her, look, I got pots and things in the pots all over the place. I can't be wasting time. I got to handle my business, but I'll come over here and do this. I want to help the organization out. Then the white boy, and beware of ambitious white boys. They will screw you over. They'll screw their mother over. He decides, I guess he feels like he's doing too much work. And he starts dropping all types of things on Magic. Now, Magic was willing to throw him under the bus, but he wasn't willing to throw Jenny under the bus. But I'm going to share some stories tonight. And it's always that higher up person who is shielding themselves by using other individuals. Now, in the organization I was in, now I'll just use that as an example. And we had a person at the top. And just like Magic, I felt, okay, I'm going to talk to this person at the top, resolve these issues, everything's going to be straight. But what does the person at the top do? Just like Jeannie Buss did? Let me talk to the Ramesses. Let me talk to Tim Harris. All these people that have nothing to do. Magic Johnson is the president of operations. So him being the president of operation means he gets to call the shots. You heard it at the very beginning of the video. He's talking about, hey, can I make my decisions? But as soon as he made a decision about something that would affect a white man, who personally, I don't give a damn. Luke Walton was supposed to go. He should have went, and that's just the bottom line on it. But you, Magic, cannot take this white man's dignity away by firing him. Because what happened right after Magic left? They fired him. And he got another job. I think he's the Sacramento King head coach now. White people just fell up. Black coaches sitting all around. You got Mark Jackson, who was the architecture of the Warriors, still sitting around because he had the nerve to speak up. I'm going to show a video, and it just looks like we're just dying over here on the YouTube side. I don't get it. I apologize again, people on the YouTube side. But I'm going to show this video, and it's going to seem like a totally innocent video, and we'll see how many people are going to catch what's going on with the Cisco put together like this diversity group speak program or whatever you want to call it. And when you hear diversity in corporate America, it's a joke. It's laughable at best, because most of the time there's no minorities only one minority on that on that screen. This is just killing me, y'all, because I hate to not be able to do a decent program for you all. So I'm going to play the video, and the people on the Facebook side, you can't see it, and the people on the YouTube side, I'm hoping you can see it, because I'm just getting a whole bunch of drag on this other side. So I'm going to play the video, and then we will go from there. A group of black people that were put together to do a presentation. I'm sorry. To do this presentation. And there's also a clip from Dave Chappelle. So the Chappelle clip is first, and he's got a good analogy in there. Then after the Chappelle clip, then there's the other clip. So here it goes.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Blacks perceive that they are promoted at a lower rate than other groups.
So do you guys think this is perception or reality?
Well, you click anywhere in the org chart above or below your name, and you look to see how many people look like you in certain positions, there's your answer.
There places a doubt in my mind, right, when I don't see those that have been in the company for X amount of years not hold certain titles. And I'm thinking, oh, should I really put all this energy and effort into actually trying to climb the ladder if those people before me aren't even climbing it?
As an early career person, being with Cisco a few months, I'm like, do I want to invest my time in this? Kind of what you're saying there. So I think I'm fighting that same battle.
It's frustrating, I will tell you. I've had pretty good trajectory at Cisco, and then like you get stuck. But when you have people like Lonnie that I've known since day one coming in the company, or any of you, I know all of you, I think that you can go to building that senses of trust. You need to have someone you can lean on and trust.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
One piece of advice I would give is that you have to set your career path, your career goals, and stay committed, stay true to those. Because I think when you start to get off track, then you start to have those types of questions. Why am I not getting promoted? Why does this not happen? I look at Cisco, it's been an excellent opportunity for me to do what it is I want to do within the company and outside the company. So once you figure out exactly what it is I really want to do and I love doing, Cisco becomes a partner.
Right.
You know?
Wisdom.
It's funny, even when I think about some of the conversations around interviews, the first thing they ask, you got a scholarship. Oh, did you play sports? No, I was actually an engineer and got a scholarship then, so.
It's interesting because I think that we all hold those stereotypes, right? And even as Black people, we hold them against other Black people as well. And so it's interesting, how do we learn how to break those stereotypes? If you're interviewing someone of color, especially a Black man, do you automatically assume, if you see that they played football, that their intellect is less than? Or as a woman who dresses a certain way, that she carried herself in a certain way? You know, how do we start to change and interrupt that?
I had an experience when I first got to the company and I was at an event trying to be social and I was dancing, and I am very intelligent. I do my work. I feel like my work holds great value, but yet people only knew me as, oh, you're the party girl, you dance. And so I kind of drew away from dancing at some of the events because I want to be known for my academics. I want to be known for my intellect. I don't want to be known as the party girl.
But I think you also have to be authentic. I think there's no reason why you have to leave. Why can't you go to the party? It's a party.
Yeah.
Everybody else is dancing, right? I mean, if you can't be authentic at a party.
I know, but it's like a double-sided coin. It's like I really do, because I love to dance. I express my excitement through dance. But I just want to be known to be smart.
Right.
But I'll challenge you to be known for both.
Yeah.
Like, bring your full self to work, like the full spectrum of who you are, because the only way that we can be recognized is in culture at Cisco or any other company is just to bring who you totally are. So you're a great dancer.
This is a dangerous video that we just watched. I can tell you exactly what's happening in this video. The one lady with the black and the long hair, I don't know if it's hers, it doesn't really make a difference, who says, well, my trajectory has been great in the company. But this happens a lot for black women all around. She's not being affected in the same way that a black man would be affected. So they also added a black man who's an engineer. And they're selling this dream, like when she says, bring yourself to the company. You are not allowed to bring yourself to the company. That is BS. They have a picture painted of you, and you're supposed to fit into that picture. Anything you do to get you out of that picture will get you cut off. I worked for a company, and at one point, I was the only black technician left at the company. And I saw many blacks, a few that were even more qualified than me, get the axe because they brought themselves to work. They brought their own personalities to work. You can't be yourself. And then when he says, well, you can't get caught up in why I didn't get promoted. Yeah, you can, because if you did work and you did good work, for example, at one point I had 3 XC's expectation reviews in a row. No promotion. People that had no XC's expectations, promotions. So that just blows his little theory out of the water. And partnership, no. When you work in corporate America, they could care less about your outside ventures. They actually don't want you to have any outside ventures because they may force you to travel a lot, so you can't nurse any outside ventures. But this is the dream that we digest. This is the dream that we feed to our children. And it's a deadly potion. The history of America is we went from bondage into mental enslavement. I'm sorry, everybody on the YouTube side. I see you guys are just dying and dropping. But like I said, we will repost the video. And I can't adjust it while the stream is already going. So we are forced to be where we are at. Sorry. So we'll work that out. But we will post the video in its entirety at the end of the show. So this is the dangerous dream that we're posing to our kids. And nobody's really wrong in this video because, well, yeah, they are wrong. Because you can tell there's one, the heavyset guy, he kind of makes a statement of, I'm looking, and basically what he's saying, he's looking at all his peers and he's comparing the work that he's putting in and doing to what other people around him are doing, and he's not seeing any growth, but he's seeing it, but he's seeing it with other people where he knows this growth is not the right growth, and why isn't he growing? Then you got the other brother with the white shirt on, and he's like, he's watching other black people, because when you come into the company, you're looking for your peers. They're talking about people you can trust. And hopefully we can trust each other, but often even the blacks together. I happen to work with a group of blacks, and we had total trust in each other. And we had almost total distrust in the white people because of their behavior. Unfortunately, it was just their bad behavior toward all of us, trying to get us to turn on each other, the back talking, the pointing fingers, it got to be ridiculous. I always say it takes about 100 black people to get one white man in trouble, but it only takes one white man to get a whole department in trouble. So when it started happening like that in our department, and they brought in the white man, get all these niggas out of here. And within 3 years, it wasn't even 3 years, 1, 2, 3. Within a year and a half, all the black people in the department were gone except me. And what did he do? Let me bring in somebody I can relate to. White boy right here. Yeah, come on in here. Got a position for you. Oh, you ain't finished school. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about none of that. We got you. Within a couple of years, now, mind you, I was there 12 years over this guy, 3 exceeds expectations, multiple projects, backup services for several offices, recommendation letter from management committee, everything. No promotions. The white boy, here 3 years, he just goes and works at the retreat. Incredible. Let's give him a promotion. He's great. And then they send the same white boy to me to tell me, hey, they want me to help you to become a senior tech. And I just had to look at his white self and say, dude, are you serious? I've been here 12 years with multiple projects, and you are going to help me. Go on, tell Master I said, hell no, I don't need your help. So they went right ahead and started promoting him. And then when he finally graduated, let's put him on some more stuff. But like I always say all the time, when you come to corporate America, you get a pair of tap shoes. They get hugs and embrace. My uncle used to say something, Uncle Charlie, he used to say, listen and learn. I also wanted to say, listen, learn, and observe. We don't have time to buy into we family here at this firm. That's BS. They family. They looking out for their interests. They looking out for their children's futures in this country of America. I sat down the other day and I tried to look forward 100 years and try to see a future for black people. And it's sad, it's bleak. But then I had hope because I talked to a young man, and him and his friends, they've graduated and got their degrees, and they want to start. It's like a stock. It's not a financial business. I think they're still kind of putting it together. But I told them, I said, you know what's missing from the black infrastructure? It's corporations, because the few that we do have, every black can't work for those few corporations. I say, so we need you guys to take that experience and start building corporations. That's something we can use in the black community. And once you start seeing high rises with corporations, names on them, that are owned by black people in the neighborhood, then things can change. But we got a whole bunch of Negroes that have obtained a certain level in life, and they're comfortable with that. And they're like, hey, look, we cool with this. We don't want any forget that militant stuff. We've decided that we lost. We don't have time to revisit history. These good white people that gave us some jobs. We're going to work these jobs. We're going to take care of our families. And that's that. So we don't want to hear that. Maybe we'll donate to the college fund or something like that. But no, we're not going to fight a war of humanity. And for those of you that got left out, you just left out. And they'll continue on like this for years until it falls on their laps. Steve Harvey, Oprah, Tyler Perry. But it doesn't really affect them the same way it affects us, because even though they go out and they do try to do some things, they still got the wake-up calls of, this still our shit. And everybody has found, most black successful people have found that they have to leave corporate America and break out on their own to achieve success. So Oprah had to leave Channel 7 and start their own network. Tyler Perry was a little different. He made money with us. And then as white people see that, then they say, hey, this guy made money with these black people. Let's make him go Hollywood and give him some more money. And then let's give him this money now. Here's your money. And I'm not telling nobody to turn down no money. I can't tell people what to do with the money. Here's your money. And you're going to be our nigga for the next 8 years. Everything that you produce, all the content. Now, you can get your money up front. So don't worry about what money we make. We didn't give you the money that we're going to give you. That's all you're getting from us. You signed the contract. And that's what we're going to hold you to, Tyler. Steve Harvey, we've canceled that little Steve talk thing that you had. That's out of here. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. But it'll probably get picked up by another network. But there's tons of black people who have achieved success in their life, and nobody's saying you can't be proud about where you've gone in life. But most of the pride is going to come from if you break out. There was a fella, I can't remember his name, and he worked in corporate America, and he left and started his own thing, and then he came back as a partnership, like most other cultures do. When he came back as a partnership, now he's named his own price, his own way of doing things, and he's in control of it. Just like LeBron James and his friends that he brought along. Now people were like, oh, these guys have never done anything. They haven't gone to business school or nothing. But LeBron said, that's okay. I got money. They're going to go to business school and they're going to do all this. He said, but what I like about these guys, they come from the same place I come from. They understand my mindset, and they hustlers. So the hustler is always going to try to get the best deal. So he educated a few hustlers, some that were selling jerseys out the back of their car, CDs on the street. He took his guys and gave them an opportunity that they would have never got in corporate America. Because corporate America is not designed for our success. Just like politics, and you know, we got all these different legs, and we can't seem to stand up on any of them for a long time. Politics is the worst leg we have because we have no political power. We don't even have a political mindset because we're too busy teaming up with the same people that have destroyed us since we came here for the past what? Hey, Khalid. The same people that have destroyed us for the past 400 years, 450 years. This is 400 years, 2019. And we constantly get into this cycle. We rather, like Mr. Chan says, we rather fight to stay under these people than develop something for ourselves. I can personally tell you, I know doctors, I know lawyers, I know judges, black people who have made it as far as in this society. But everybody that makes it has a certain level of capitulation to go through. I don't know any black man that can tell me the story of, oh, well, I didn't have any issues. Because it's laughable. But we put that energy in, and we continue to, like I said, we feed it to our kids. And I talk to a lot of, you talk to a lot of young people, a lot of the millennials, and they kind of mad because they don't like the system that they're coming into. They're looking at you like, yeah, but I saw you went to a job for 25 years and you were miserable for 25 years. And they'll say, but I appreciate your sacrifice, pops, moms. I appreciate that sacrifice. But you were miserable. And that's your fault that you were miserable. Because we didn't have the courage to break away, or it was the system. And this was the reason for reparations. So we wouldn't have to go through this. Just like the brother that just paid off all those guys Morehouse tuition. That changed their lives in such a dramatic way that they don't have to worry about paying a student loan for the next 20, 25, 30 years with interest rate, which is backed by the government. Did white Americans decide, okay, we gave y'all the black president, everything's even. But nobody can tell me what did the black president do? What did we get from the black president? Did we get reparations? The Jews been getting reparations for the past, what was that? Past 60 years? 70 years? They got their money. What happened to them did not happen in this country, so I don't want to hear about the Jews. You can call me anti-Semitic or whatever you want to call me. I don't want to hear it. Like I was telling somebody the other day, nobody gets to butt the line when it comes to us in this country. Oh, that's bad. You don't care about the minorities that's coming into the country. You don't care about the suffering of Jews. No, not really. I care about the suffering of black people more. I care more about what's happening to us in this country. I care about, we can't get money for businesses, but I see every hee-haw and every minority getting their paperwork done by the black people that run the different organizations, all these figureheads. I told some people yesterday, I said, how come it's hard for us to get money to open businesses in our own neighborhood, but Salim right across the street that doesn't even speak English qualifies for a $250,000 grant? Because it says right there in the paperwork, and I've seen it in the paperwork, it says, if you're willing to open a business in a black, poverty-stricken, blighted neighborhood, we will give you the money. But we're not giving Ray the money. How have I been trying to get a grant for a year, filled out all my paperwork, did everything they asked me to do, still I ain't got 20 cents. I've learned to get around. The hustle becomes real for you when you're a black person that opens a business. You better have your hustle on, because all this stuff they do, like I said, I was at a seminar over at the Cultural Center, and it was the most shameful presentation I had ever seen in my life. For when you're saying you're trying to give us this grant money. Pritzker's got $15 million. We're going to put $10 million over here. They ain't said what $10 million over there going over there for, but we got $5 million for y'all to fight over. If you can go through this 39-page process and this web link, and this web link, and this web link. They ain't got a single handout. You got 300 people in the room, not a single handout. You rushing through the presentation Nobody can see the screen because the screen is only about 8 feet wide and 10 feet tall. It's not even 10 feet tall. What am I talking about? It may have been 8 feet tall. So nobody in the back of the room can see it. Everybody's picking up their camera phones and they're trying to zoom in as the woman who is talking, and you can't hear because all they have is a podium mic. They don't have a mic that's amplified. And all I could do is sit there and say, I guarantee you they would not do a presentation like this for white folks. But we accept it. Because now they can go back and say, well, we presented it to them. It's not our fault that they can't qualify. And then the creme de lion of it all, at the end they say, hey, this is a reimbursement grant, meaning you got to have the money up front to do this, and then we reimburse you. If you qualify for all this, if you can pass all this, and then you may get it. And then they wonder why black businesses fail at a higher rate. Most people in the room like, what are we doing here? We sitting here trying to get money for our businesses. You're telling us we got to have money. Well, it's not a matching fund or anything, but you do have to have your money. So then you just wind up in this catch-22 situation. The only thing I can agree with the brother that was the Cisco engineer, you do have to have your own plans. And this is what I'm going to tell every young person that is in college right now. Set your goals while you're in school. And if you got to work for these people, determine the time that you're going to work for these people. Try to make it less than 7 years, 5 at the most, if your drive is up. So get your degree in whatever field you're trying to go into. Develop in your mindset something toward your people. Whatever it's going to be. If you're going to volunteer once a week at the community center or whatever you can do, make that part of who you are. Don't be deceived by these people that are smiling in your face that have a whole different story than you. And don't be impressed with anybody else's struggles. Other people's struggles do not affect me. And you can say, well, you're not a Christian. Okay, well, talk to the Christians that enslaved us and beat us and did all those things to us. Then once you talk to them, then come talk to me about my behavior, about the way I feel that it should go. No, we're not finna sit here and play these games. There was a Mays Jackson. He did I guess he's trying to become the representative of the 10th district. And this alderman, I think his name's Mark Jackson. As Mays is trying to present himself to the committee, this dude, a brother, stands up and starts making noise, being very disrespectful to Mays as he's trying to present himself, and nobody calls this dude on his stuff. I'm like, okay, it sounds like that dude wanted somebody to meet his ignorance with his ignorance. But this is a brother who uses the pretense, the Trojan horse of, I'm here to help felons and all this type of stuff, and this sounds good, and let me get the people on my team, and I get some money, and I keep most of the money for myself. I throw a few out, but I keep it for myself. But I'll block any other brother that's trying to step up and do something for the people. I said to May, this sounds like this dude wants somebody to meet him in the parking lot. I said, what I would have done if it was me, and I know your goal is to become the rep. No, your goal cannot be to become the rep. When that happens, your goal has now changed to, I need to get in this dude's ass. So I would have put my camera out, and as he walked around the room, I would have walked around the room too. I would have put him on the camera and recorded him and put his name out there, and then I would have blasted it to all the news agencies. I would paste his car full of stickers, my stickers. I'd pay somebody to do it. I don't give a damn. You gonna get ignorant, brother? This is one of the biggest problems we have. I call it brothers by the ship. Those that would do something to block the progress of black people. Now, I don't call it COINTELPRO because COINTELPRO was about the government targeting black groups and organizations that they deemed threats to the fabric of America because they were trying to do something for black people and there was real leadership. I don't see real leadership in all this. I see real, let's floss, let's front, let's pretend that America is great. Let's do all this nonsense. That's what I'm seeing. So I don't subscribe to that nonsense. And the problem is, and I don't want to say we lack the courage, because it takes a lot. And just like Magic walked away, Magic could afford to walk away because Magic got the money to walk away. Oprah had the money to walk away. So you got to be in a position to even walk away. When slavery ended, slaves had a choice. You can go out there and struggle, or you can stay here and be abused by master a little more. It's going to be a little different. I ain't going to beat you like I used to beat you. But if, I need some people to work this land, now I'm going to cheat you because, I know how to count. You can't read, so you got to believe what I say. And them instruments I used to give you for free to work the field, now I'm going to rent those out to you so I get a little more money. Now, that's the deal, nigga. You staying? Toby, what you doing on the other side of the fence? What, you eating leaves off a tree? Well, go on, nigga. Y'all see that nigga. Look how that nigga struggling out there. Because niggas love to watch niggas struggle. You got to have the courage to love your brother out of his condition. We're not saying this is a perfect setup, but we have never developed a plan that we could institute because your government will not repair us. And people say, well, I'm not broke. I don't need any reparations. Okay, if you got a $200,000 student loan and part of the Reparations Act would be to wipe out your student loan, you don't want yours, right? We can just go ahead and do that, and you can continue to just keep paying yours. And your children, who would also qualify for a free education, you can just skip that too, and then you can keep paying that too. And money for you to start a business, no, you don't qualify for that because you don't want the reparations. But we do. There's a group out there, Yvette Carnell, it's called the ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. And they're trying to push some things out there. And I can personally tell you that I saw Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson said they had wrote up something and presented it to Obama, and Obama shot it down. So it was a great thing that we had a black president, but you're probably never going to see me pointing to young people and kids and saying, this was a great man because he did something that changed things for black people. But at the same time, we didn't ask for anything. We didn't demand anything. We just assumed a black person would get in the White House and do something for black people. We got to stop assuming that these people who get in these government positions, and this is the problem with politicians, you get in these circles and you feel pressure to make the deal. But the deal is always made on our back. And as Malcolm used to say, they take care of everything else, and then they come to you and they tell you that there's no money. That's like your President Trump. Oh, I got the 10-point plan for black people. And then in number 8 or 9, he buried some other stuff that he's trying to push through. What was it? I had to look it back up. I think it has something to do with getting the money for the wall or something like that. And we constantly, and you see all these black people on TV. Well, I'm a Republican, and I don't believe in all this. You have been brainwashed. You see a little thing and get out. You're in the sunken place, and your money does not equate to livelihood. It does not give me the position. And I always tell people, I said, here it is. There's a baby sitting in the middle of the road. Cars coming down the road. There's $1 million sitting on the other side of the road. Now you're only able to save this baby or run and get that $1 million. America went and picked up the money. We the baby that they left sitting in the road. We're the baby that they left sitting in the road. And we don't realize it. How do we not? What legacy are we leaving for our children? If we're not leaving them businesses, then they're going to be in the same situation that we've been in because our forefathers didn't leave us anything. But not to knock on them, because they were getting beaten, drugged, murdered, lynched, and it was documented and nobody went to jail. But they'll tell you, oh, well, Malcolm, he was anti-Semitic. Elijah Muhammad, anti-Semitic, the Black Panther Party, they're trying to help black people. That Fred Hampton, look at us smiling in the pictures as we carry his dead ass out of here. That nigger thought he could make some changes. That's what they did to our leadership. If you want to see some real COINTELPRO, go to the FBI site, look up FBI COINTELPRO. You can see the documents now. Because years later, they can open the documents and say, yeah, we was doing some crazy stuff. We did put the drugs in the neighborhood. We didn't make you sell it, though, but we put it there. Time and time again, then they'll tell you, well, it was the Clinton bill. No, there was a bill even before Clinton. They've always had laws in place to lock your black ass up. And they'll spend $44,000 a year for one person to be in prison, but they won't send that same amount of money to rehabilitate you and send you to a college to educate you, to train you. Well, if you went out there committing crimes, and okay, well, true. Did you start out committing crimes? What's the condition that put them in the crime? Then you got a record. Okay, well, now you ain't gonna get nothing. What's up, Brandon? Well, now you're not going to get nothing. So they have managed us into a condition. We went from bondage to mental slavery. And working for them only furthers their cause. A Chinese man told me, he said, in every town you go to, there's a section of the town that's called Chinatown. And most of them have a sign that says Chinatown, and all the businesses in Chinatown are ran by the Chinese, and you are not allowed to come in our community and put whatever you want up in here. And we dare anybody to call us racist. He says, I just want my brothers to be successful just like I'm successful. We want the same thing for our children, and we don't want to be Americans. We're Chinese. The Jews are Jews. Everybody gets to be who they want to be, but they'll tell you if there was a sign like back in the 70s, and I told the story, it was a North Carolina, Soul City. You can look it up. and a black politician made a deal with Nixon to get the black people to vote for Nixon, and Nixon said he was going to give them this money to build this town. And he gave them the money to build it, but he didn't give them no money for any infrastructure, so they couldn't get no water or anything else running into the little town that they built. And the only thing sits there now, I think the sign still sits there, is it's North Carolina. So it's always the okie doke when it comes to us, and we always feel like we had to make the deal. Well, you got to make the deal, you know. White man is in control. He is God. He taught us everything. I had something I wrote down here I wanted to touch on. It was the thing with the black people with Cisco. That I watched that video a couple of times, and it was just very disturbing to me. I was like, are you black people really kidding me? Are you feeding this? Obviously, they were chose to even be part of this little demonstration that they put on the screen. Clearly, the black woman who says, well, my trajectory has been good, she's Sally Mae. She goes in there and I'm here. What do you need me to do? I've worked with plenty of women, black women in corporate America, and they making their money. And they're not getting the same level of harassment as black men. They getting their fair share, but they're being allowed to progress at a different level. And the brother that was the engineer, I could already just tell just from listening to him. Oh, he's not a troublemaker at all. I'm just here to do my job and go ahead and take care of my thing, and I'm gonna capitulate, and I'm gonna do what I got to do, because what else can I do? Because black people don't have anything. We don't have no foundation. We don't have no infrastructure. We ain't got no money, and we ain't got no politicians we could trust. And we don't know how to trust each other. And that's the sad truth of it all. Sorry, I had to bust everybody's bubble. But black people, we are in trouble in this country. And if we don't do something soon to change the course of what's happening to us and what's going to happen to our children, we are forever going to be under these people's feet. Love, peace, soul. We out of here.
Step out of the car. No, you don't have the right. Step out of the car. You do not have the right to do that. I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove you. I refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Now if your woman ain't no revolutionary, she'll persuade you to be a fucking slave for the rest of your days. She'll be grooming you on how to behave, teaching you how to coon and buck bang so that you can be safe. If that brother ain't no rider, soldier, no provider, molder of young minds, check it out. You got yourself a bitch. Think about the time that you invested in him. If he's wearing them skinny jeans, you a lesbian. For every 100 black women who ain't locked up, it's only 83 black men remaining. Take away 1.5 million black men who might have benefited their women and their children. You don't know a war when it's waged against you, when it makes you drive your baby mama to the clinic just to kill your own. Ain't no legacy to leave behind, cause ain't nobody sitting on your throne. You motherfuckers are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga. Sandra Bland was a rider. She wouldn't have committed suicide, and you a motherfucking liar. It would not be wise to stop when you hear sirens and you see the police behind you, but you don't wanna die. They gon' shoot you if you run. They gon' say that you was going for the police gun. That's why they shot you like 120 times, but you was still coming, so they put another bullet in your lung. Them devils got you praying while they murder, because they know you on that bullshit. They steady with them full clips and body armor. They kill your women in the street, cause they figure you too weak to do anything about it. You some shit, getting fucked in your sleep. They poison you every time you brush your teeth. You don't care, you behave like a slave. A bitch from the cradle to the grave, on your knees with your hands out, begging cause you wanna be motherfuckers saved. Are asleep in a war zone, living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't stop, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, you asleep in a war zone. Living a nightmare, dying in your own home. If you don't fight, you gon' lose what you got left. I'd rather die trying to fight for my last breath. Freedom or death, nigga.